How many familiar faces have you watched for years, never realizing the truth they carried in silence? Behind the glamour of Hollywood, some of its most recognizable stars were quietly living lives the public never fully saw. Fame can disguise reality, and when it comes to transgender celebrities, myths often speak louder than facts. Today, we look beyond headlines to uncover powerful journeys of courage, identity, and the moments that forever changed pop culture. Caitlyn Jenner, born on October 28, 1949, stands as one of the most recognizable figures in American popular culture and the LGBTQ+ community. Long before the world knew her as Caitlyn, she lived for decades as Bruce Jenner, the Olympic champion who captured a gold medal in the decathlon at the 1976 Montreal Games. At the height of his fame, Bruce Jenner symbolized strength, discipline, and the ideal of American athletic excellence during a time of cultural change. Yet behind that public image was a private reality few could imagine. For years, Caitlyn carried an internal struggle that remained hidden from fans, family, and even herself at times. Living under constant public scrutiny, she learned how to perform a role the world expected, while suppressing the identity she had always known to be true. In 2015, nearly 40 years after her Olympic victory, Caitlyn publicly came out as transgender in a landmark interview with Diane Sawyer. The moment marked a profound turning point, not only in her personal life, but in the national conversation surrounding gender identity and authenticity. Her transition challenged deeply ingrained assumptions and brought transgender issues into millions of living rooms across the country. Through the reality series I Am Kate and her memoir The Secrets of My Life, Caitlyn revealed the emotional cost of living in silence and the relief that came with finally living honestly. Her story is ultimately about reinvention, resilience, and the courage to begin again, even after a lifetime of being known for someone you were never fully allowed to be. Gigi Gorgeous, born on April 20, 1992 in Montreal, Canada, is a model, activist, and pioneering digital creator whose personal journey has resonated with millions around the world. She first rose to prominence in 2008 on YouTube, where her early beauty tutorials and lifestyle videos quickly built a loyal following. At a time when online platforms were still finding their voice, Gigi used hers to connect with audiences in a deeply personal way. In 2013, Gigi began publicly documenting her gender transition, transforming her channel from beauty-focused content into an open diary of self-discovery. Through honest and emotionally vulnerable videos, she invited viewers into her life, sharing moments of joy, fear, doubt, and growth. This transparency helped humanize transgender experiences for audiences who may never have encountered such stories before. Her journey reached a broader audience in 2017 with the documentary This Is Everything, Gigi Gorgeous, directed by Academy Award-winning filmmaker Barbara Koppel. The film explored not only her transition but also the emotional weight of living authentically under constant public scrutiny. Beyond digital media, Gigi has become a visible advocate for transgender rights, speaking out on issues of safety, dignity, and inclusion. Her marriage to designer and activist Nats Getty in 2019 further symbolized a life lived openly and without apology. For many viewers, especially older audiences, Gigi Gorgeous's story reflects a timeless truth. While technology continues to evolve, the human desire to live honestly and be accepted for who we truly are remains unchanged. Andreja Pejić, born on August 28, 1991 in Tuzla, Bosnia and Herzegovina, is widely regarded as one of the most groundbreaking figures in modern fashion and a powerful symbol of gender expression. Her early life was shaped by conflict and displacement. As a child, she and her family fled the Bosnian War and eventually resettled in Australia, carrying with them the weight of survival and uncertainty. Pejić's modeling career began quietly, but her striking presence quickly captured the attention of the fashion world. By her late teens, she was walking the runways of some of the most prestigious fashion houses. In 2011, she gained international recognition for something nearly unprecedented at the time, successfully modeling both menswear and womenswear. Her ability to move effortlessly between traditionally rigid categories challenged long-standing ideas of beauty, identity, and femininity. Long before mainstream culture openly embraced conversations about gender diversity, Andreja appeared on magazine covers and in global campaigns that questioned conventional norms. Yet behind the success was a deeply personal journey. In 2014, she publicly came out as a transgender woman, marking a new chapter in both her life and career, one defined by authenticity rather than ambiguity. In 2015, Pejić made history again as the first openly transgender model to front a major global cosmetics campaign with Makeup Forever. While the fashion industry often celebrates surface beauty, Andreja's influence has always gone deeper. For many viewers, especially older audiences, her story speaks to timeless themes: surviving hardship, embracing one's truth, and discovering that true elegance is not defined by appearance, but by the courage to live honestly. Laverne Cox, born on May 29, 1972 in Mobile, Alabama, is an Emmy-nominated actress, producer, and one of the most influential advocates for transgender rights in modern American culture. Her rise to national recognition came through her powerful portrayal of Sophia Bursette on Netflix's Orange is the New Black, a role that did far more than showcase her acting talent. It reshaped how transgender lives were represented on mainstream television. Cox's journey to that moment was marked by adversity. Growing up in the Deep South, she faced bullying, isolation, and profound misunderstanding because of her gender identity. Those early experiences could have silenced her voice, but instead, they sharpened her sense of purpose. Through education, perseverance, and an unwavering belief in her worth, she built a career rooted in both artistry and advocacy. In 2014, Laverne Cox made history as the first openly transgender person to receive a Primetime Emmy nomination in an acting category. That same year, she appeared on the cover of Time magazine under the headline, "The Transgender Tipping Point," an image that quickly became a symbol of a cultural shift taking place across the United States. Beyond her achievements on screen, Cox has used her platform to speak openly about discrimination in healthcare, barriers to employment, and the alarming rates of violence faced by transgender women, particularly women of color. For many viewers, especially older audiences, her story represents dignity earned through endurance. Laverne Cox continues to remind the world that visibility is not simply about being seen, but about being understood, and that understanding has the power to create lasting change. Janet Mock, born on March 10, 1983, is an acclaimed American writer, producer, director, and activist whose work has helped redefine how transgender lives are seen and understood in modern culture. Raised in Hawaii, Janet grew up facing poverty, instability, and persistent questions of belonging as a young transgender girl of color. From an early age, she learned that survival required strength long before the world offered acceptance. Determined to shape her own future, Mock transitioned during her teenage years and pursued education as a form of liberation. Writing became her most powerful tool, allowing her to reclaim a narrative that society had often tried to silence. Through discipline and persistence, she built a career rooted in storytelling, truth, and advocacy. In 2014, Janet published her groundbreaking memoir, Redefining Realness. The book was both intimate and fearless, offering readers an unfiltered look at growing up transgender while also confronting issues of race, class, and self-worth. It quickly became a cultural touchstone, especially for readers encountering such honesty for the first time. She continued her story in Surpassing Certainty in 2017, reflecting on ambition, adulthood, and the ongoing pursuit of purpose. Mock's influence soon expanded into television. As a writer, director, and executive producer on the critically acclaimed series Pose, she helped bring New York's ballroom culture and Black and Latinx transgender communities into the center of mainstream storytelling. In 2019, she made history again as the first transgender woman of color to sign an overall deal with Netflix. Janet Mock's journey stands as a testament to resilience, reinvention, and the enduring power of telling one's truth. MJ Rodriguez, born Michaela J. Rodriguez on January 7, 1991 in Newark, New Jersey, is an accomplished actress and singer whose career has played a pivotal role in expanding representation in Hollywood. Drawn to the performing arts from a young age, she studied musical theater and began building her career on the stage, where discipline, vulnerability, and emotional truth shaped her craft. Her breakthrough came with the groundbreaking FX series Pose, a landmark drama that brought New York's ballroom culture of the 1980s and 1990s into the heart of mainstream television. In her role as Blanca Rodriguez Evangelista, a devoted house mother defined by compassion and quiet strength, MJ delivered performances marked by warmth, dignity, and deep humanity. Through Blanca, audiences were introduced to a leadership style rooted not in dominance, but in empathy. In 2021, Rodriguez made history by becoming the first transgender woman nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series. The following year, she reached another milestone by winning the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Television Drama, further solidifying her place in entertainment history. Yet MJ Rodriguez's influence extends beyond awards and recognition. Through her music, interviews, and public advocacy, she consistently speaks about dignity, opportunity, and visibility for transgender communities. For many viewers, particularly older audiences, her journey represents perseverance guided by grace. MJ Rodriguez reminds us that true strength does not always announce itself loudly, and that compassion, when paired with talent, has the power to quietly reshape culture. Indya Moore, born on January 17, 1995 in the Bronx, New York, is an actor, model, and activist whose life and work have helped redefine conversations around transgender and non-binary visibility in contemporary culture. Their early years were marked by instability and rejection. After facing serious challenges at home, Indya left at a young age and experienced periods of homelessness, learning quickly how survival often requires resilience before opportunity ever arrives. Modeling became both a means of survival and a form of self-expression. By their late teens, Indya was already walking runways for major fashion houses, capturing attention not only for their striking presence, but for the authenticity they brought to an industry built on image. Acting soon followed, opening a new chapter in their creative journey. Indya's defining breakthrough came with the groundbreaking FX series Pose, where they portrayed Angel Evangelista, a transgender woman navigating love, ambition, and vulnerability within New York's ballroom scene of the 1980s and 1990s. Through Angel, Indya brought emotional depth and dignity to a character rarely centered on television, offering audiences a deeply human perspective on transgender womanhood. Beyond the screen, Indya Moore has used their platform to advocate for healthcare equity, housing security, and the protection of transgender and non-binary communities. In 2019, They were named to Time magazine's list of the 100 most influential people. They also made fashion history as the first openly transgender and non-binary person to appear in a Louis Vuitton campaign. Indya Moore's journey reminds us that authenticity, sustained with compassion, remains one of the most enduring forms of courage. Behind every public image is a private journey, and the stories we've shared today remind us that authenticity often requires great courage. These lives are not defined by fame, but by the strength to live truthfully in a world that doesn't always understand. If this video offered insight or inspiration, please like, share, and subscribe to support more meaningful storytelling. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.